What up guys, and welcome back to another gym leader tier list. Alright, last time we did Gen 2, we were in Johto. This time, we're going into Hoenn and Gen 3. I don't know why that was spelled there, but it's fine. Anyways, as you know, we're doing this series. We're gonna go through all 8 generations of Pokemon. Getting through the gym leaders and everything. It's gonna be great, it's gonna be amazing. Let's just get into this. First up, we have Roxanne. And let me think here. Also, I'm just gonna put that in there. Gen 3, you have 3 starter Pokemon, of course, as always. Water, Fire, and Grass. So let's start with obvious. We have Mudkip. We have Torchic. And, as you know, we have Rico. These are the ones you choose from, and Roxanne, as in her name, you could guess she's a rock type gym leader. Her Pokemon is basically, well, it's Geodude and Nosepass, and if you picked either Mudkip or Trico, you're pretty good. And let's see, even if you didn't, I think you can get a C-Dot and also a what is it called? The mushroom. He turns into a bell. No, not a Beldum. Don't remember the name. Show the picture of the mon I mean right now. Shroomish. Yeah, Shroomish. Never mind. If you get one of those, you counter her anyway. So I feel like she's really easy to counter. I'm gonna put her. She's the first gym though. She's not Brock by any means. Brock is way harder than Roxanne. I just gotta say. But if you did pick Torchic, you didn't get a grass type before her, then you will have problems. But otherwise, she's pretty easy. So I'm gonna put her in. You know what? If you get through Mr. C-Dot, you're good. She's easy. Then you have Brawly. And usually, Brawly, he's a fighting type. Gym leader, of course. Well, Brawly, of course, he has a Machop and a Makuhita. And the thing here is, your starter, it won't really help you out here. And the thing is, you don't really have that much. Like, if you have a bug type. Like if you caught a Beautifly or a Dustox, then you might be good here. I mean, of course, if you caught Wurmples. But, and you would probably have the early bird like Tailo. You would do good. But the thing is also, with Tailo, it's still a normal type. So they would still deal damage to you. And that Makuhita is really strong, the one that he has. Of course, I love Machop. I'm biased against Machop, with Machop, but it's the Makuhita who's the real problem. But I would say, if you have a flyer, and especially if you have a bug flying type like Beautifly, you're good. And also, or a bugged Dustox, because that's quad resistant of fighting. But I'm gonna put him at a B, if you didn't get those. Maybe even, I'm putting it at a B. I don't think he's that hard. Alright, moving up, we have Watson. And he has a full set of Gen 1 mons. He has a Magnemite, Voltorb, and a Magneton. So that's Steel and Electric plus a normal, just an Electric. So, let's see here. You would be pretty good with Torchic. Torchic would do really good here. You would do really good if your Marshtomp, or you would have a Marshtomp here, right? So you would be pretty good there as well. Hey, I think all your starters are really good against Watson. Let's see. What else? I don't believe he would have much, especially if you have a Marshtomp right here. If you still had a Mudkip, you would be gone. But otherwise, I think Watson is pretty easy. I'm actually putting him right there, just because of that. Just because Magneton, of course, is really strong. But if you're a water and ground type, you can't do anything against that. And, well, Torchic fire type. The only problem I see, it's if you went with Trico and you both cancel out because he's steel as well. So I would say he's not that hard. Alright, next up we have Flannery. And Flannery, well, She's not really that hard. She has 2 Slugmas and a Torkoal. And yeah, she is... You beat her with a water type. Marsh Stomp is perfect. If you pick the Mudkip, you're good against this. The ground and your water, both are super effective on the fire type. And if you picked Trico, you would still have problems, but you might have a Geodude, you should probably have another water type by now. And yeah, I don't see how he will be a problem to you. If you pick the Torchic, you both resist each other, but if you're also fired or a fighting types, you might actually deal with her pretty well. So Flannery, I'll put you in a C, just because Torkoal is really bulky, and she might get a few good hits. No. If you pick the Trico, okay, the only reason she goes in C is because if you pick the Trico, and you didn't get the off chance that you didn't get anything to deal with her, I'm putting her in a C. But it's so far in, you should have a water type, or a ground type, or a rock type for that matter. But otherwise, I'll put her in a C. So, Norman, he has 2 Slackings and a Vigoroth. And he would definitely be the best freaking gym leader of all time if his Slackings didn't have Truant. Because Slacking is a beast of a Pokemon. Its base stat total is insane. Really powerful. But he cannot be slept on. If you have a really good fighting type by now, if you picked a Blaziken or Torchic, you will be good against him. And also like rock type, something to wall him, that's fine. The thing is, you can't really do much. You can put both Slackings to sleep, but you can't put the Vigoroth to sleep, so you can't really go to a full-on sleep strategy or something like that. And even though they have Truant, when he actually hits you, and I think they pack Retaliate as well, but if you knock out, let's say you knock out the Vigoroth, instantly one of those freaking Slacking comes in and retaliates, you're dead, you're gone. Or something like that. I don't know. No, Retaliate is a later move. They might not have Retaliate, but they have something, and they will knock you out. I promise. He is strong. I'm gonna put him in an A. Because right now, I'm considering him over the rest of the gym leaders. Because the one big fact that he wins over by me is that he only has one weakness, and that's fighting types. And the only really good fighting types you get up until this point, I think you can get him a Chop, and you can get your starter. I don't know if there's any more fighting types that's really. You can get Hariyama, I think you can get as well. You can get Makuhita. Those are the 3 ones you can get. Maybe you can get one more. I'm not sure. But those are the ones that come into mind right now. I don't think you can get a Mankey, and Mankey is not that good. Primeape is okay, but I don't think he would take an offense from Slacking. Slacking would definitely outspeed it. So yeah, that's where I'm at, basically. Alright, so next up we have Winona, and she has a Swellow, a Pelipper, a Skarmory, and an Altaria. Alright, so let's see here. First up, Swellow. Normal flying type. Pretty easy to deal with. Really fast Mon though, so she will definitely deal damage with it. Because there's not a lot of Mons that outspeed it. Let's see. But no, you don't get any advantages from any of your starters. I'm just gonna say that. If you have a good rock type here, then you're gonna be good. Or not really, because she also has another Mon. Let's go through her team first. Next up we have Pelipper, water and flying. Quad weak to lightning. Or electric lightning. I don't know what I'm talking about. Quad weak to electric. weak to rock, but also strong against rock. So that's also harsh. And then we have Skarmory, steel and flying. Also strong to rock. Also weak to rock, but also strong against it. Last up we have Altaria, which really only has two weaknesses, with ice, which is a quad weakness, and then rock that can actually do a lot of damage. But the thing is, if you only go in with a rock type, then you will face the freaking Pelipper and the Skarmory, and you might struggle against those. Although Skarmory doesn't have the best stats, he's not one of my favorite mons when it comes to that, because of that. But he's still a steel type and he's bulky. And also I think her Altaria runs Dragon Dance, and in Gen 3 the special and physical split hadn't been done yet with the moves. So Dragon I think is special, but flying is physical and stuff like that. So if she Dragon Dances and then aerial aces, you're gone. So I'm gonna put Winona. I think she's probably... I'm gonna put her in S tier because she covers a lot of bases with her flying team. I think she is by far the strongest gym leader in Gen 3. It's hard to evaluate, but I think if I had to pick one gym leader that I think is the strongest one, if you play the original Ruby and Sapphire or Emerald, I would pick Winona every day. Alright, so next up we have Tayden Lysa. Very new format for a gym leader, having double battles. And they have a pretty solid team with just Solrock and Lunatone. That's their names. I tripped a little bit. But yeah, they're Rock and Psychic. I think they're the Psychic type gym, basically, but Rock and Psychic. So the fact is that they have a really good moveset on them, but I would say they're not as hard. I think they differ a bit in Emerald. Actually, let me check that up. Yeah, so if you play Emerald, so let's take them from Emerald. I bet the other trainers also stack up a little bit better in general, but that doesn't matter because I'm going from what I think is better. So in Emerald, they also have a Shatu and a Claydol, which rounds out their team quite a bit. So I'm just gonna say, if you don't plan for them, if you don't have anything for them, you better go get it, because they double team you and they have really good setup. And I think also they run self-destruct or something, and something about that they can't hurt each other and something like that. I'm not sure, but they're a nuisance. I still think just this thing that you're kind of thrown off if you haven't played the game. I'm going off of that you haven't played the game. This is the first time you encounter them. You're gonna struggle with them. Definitely. If you didn't know this was a double battle, you didn't prep for it, you're gonna have problems. So I'm actually gonna put them in S tier. They're behind Winona. If you go into Emerald, haven't played Ruby Sapphire, haven't known they're a double battle, you will struggle against these. The same with each and every one. You're not gonna struggle as far with either Roxanne or Watson, Laneri, Brawly, stuff like that. But against the gym leaders Winona and Tayden Lysa, you're gonna struggle hard. I bet you're gonna wipe 1 or 2 times. At least, maybe more. Alright, next up we have John. He has a Love Disc, a Kingdra, a Celio, a Wishcash, and what? I think he has one more. And a Corphish. Alright, or a Crawdont. Crawdont, not Corphish. Okay, yeah, he's a pretty solid water type gym. But being a water type gym so late in the game. And the thing is, as I said, Love Disc, it's a plain water type. If you have a grass electric type on, that's gone. You can't really do anything against that. Then we have Wishcash, quad weak to grass. But I would say Wishcash is probably his strongest mon. Because even though it's quad weak to grass, he gets rid of the electric weakness. Gets neutral against ice. But that's fine. If he can set up with that, you can struggle with this guy a little bit. Crawdont, Water Dark, but Dark, he's a physical attacker, and Dark is special in Gen 3, so that doesn't really help him. Love Disc, I think, is more for cheesy stuff. I would say John might be a... Just because I don't think a water type gym fits as the last gym leader. I'm just gonna be honest. There are some strong water types, but not strong enough, in my opinion. I'll put him above Brawly. Now you know what? I'll put him in A. I'll put him in A. He has a pretty solid team for a water type gym. Alright. Next up, last on our list, we have Wallace. And Wallace has a pretty similar team. He has Love Disc, he has Wish Cash, he has Helio, I think. He has a Sea King, and also he has a Melodic. And Melodic is a beast. But let's go over the teams here. So they're basically the same, except for they swapped out 2 Pokemon. So instead of a Crawdont and what was the other thing the other guy had that he didn't have? Oh yeah, he had a Kingdra. Okay, so instead of the Kingdra we have Melodic, and instead of the Crawdont we had a Sea King. So I would say actually John's Pokemon, except for Crawdont, I would much rather take a Melodic than a Crawdont, and I would much rather have a Kingdra than a the other thing, Sea King. Yeah. So they both opted for better mons, but they replaced with weaker mons. So I would rather, if they switch that up, he would have a solid team. Because Kingdra, I forgot to mention that, that's why he's in an A, is because Kingdra only has one weakness, and that's Dragon. And you will not have a Dragon up until this point if you didn't get an Altaria. So I'm probably gonna say that Wallace actually is a worse gym leader. I'm gonna put him past Brawly, but not up in an A. He's a B. I think that's what I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think John is a better... Juan. I don't know how you pronounce him. Juan, whatever. He is an A+, and the other one is a B+. Wallace, you didn't match up. Your teacher was better. Because I think John is Wallace's teacher or mentor or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, guys, that's been my tier list of the Gen 3 gym leaders. I don't think I would change anything. Winona and Tayden Liza is probably the best of Gen 3. But they actually got kind of a high ranking, most of them. I know Flynn, Roxanne, and Watson, you're kind of the bottom feeders. But you're too easy to counter. And since the water type is a water ground type, Watson doesn't really have much to say. You can go in with Marsh Stomp and just sweep him. So that's kind of sad. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tier list. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, comment down below. Let me know what you would have changed, who you think would have been higher, who you think would have been lower. Maybe you don't agree with Winona being in the top spot, but this is my opinion. So if you have your own, well, make sure to comment so I know. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We upload videos pretty much, 5 days a week. So you will find a lot of content. I can't barely talk. Anyways, catch you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.